Peace, family, and welcome to Denali Vision. I'm your host, LeVar Anderson, and I'm bringing nothing but facts. I'm a father on a quest for justice, and it has been one hell of a fight. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. Nelson Mandela. I'm not interested in picking up crumbs of compassion thrown from the table of someone who considers himself my master. I want the full menu of rights. Desmond Tutu. This is my raw and unfiltered truth of how one man, my son Denali Anderson, was murdered by the city, tortured by the county, and buried by the state. So let's get into it. On today's program, I want to stay on point and continue reading the victims' rights in Washington State Constitution. And to put this piece into perspective, we're going to go ahead and drop down to number 10. Now, there are 16 statutes, again, all of them that have been some way or another violated by Franklin County judicial system. But number 10 reads, with respect to victims of violent crimes, to have a crime victim advocate from a crime victim witness program or any other support person of the victim's choosing, present at any prosecutorial or defense interviews with the victim, and at any judicial proceeding related to criminal acts committed against the victim. This subsection applies if practical and if the presence of the crime advocate or support person does not cause any unnecessary delay in the investigation or prosecution of the case. The role of the crime victim advocate is to provide emotional support to the crime victim. Okay, that sounds all fine and dandy. Great. Now let's go ahead and go to an email from the Pasco, Washington, Franklin County quote unquote advocate, Tina Carmona. And as you can see, this is dated January 18th. Now, if you watched the previous video, this email that I'm going to read here was sent exactly 1 week after she sent me the brochure. Remember, January 11th, she sent me the brochure of all the crime victims' rights that she claimed she didn't have, but it had all the rights in there. Okay? Remember? Now, if not, go ahead and check it out. I always bring receipts. Okay? Now, this email reads, I will forward your email to the prosecutors on the case, but you must understand that this is the state's case. The deputy prosecutors decide which witnesses are put on the list, and they have reasons why or why not to include individuals. Some may be legal reasons, and others may be because they believe a particular witness may not be beneficial to our case for one reason or another. The state does not represent the victims or victims' families. So if there was no victim, the state wouldn't have a case. But your job is to still bring justice to that victim by upholding the state laws. Many times victims don't realize this, here we go with the belittling, and think we are their attorney. Now, I've never known any prosecutor to be my attorney. I mean, Brian Holcomb was a prosecuting attorney and he was vicious. But the email continues to read, if you want to file a civil case in a separate proceeding against any individuals where you decide how to conduct your case, who to put on the witness list, etc., you are welcome to do that. Thank you. Well, I guess she told me, didn't she? And you know what, family? That's exactly what I did. But to no avail. So they think. In a video to come, I will show you the paper trail of my filings and about how like 25% of my affidavits and filings were dismissed and how the other 75% were just ignored completely. Befittingly, when they couldn't deny facts, they tried throwing everything but the kitchen sink to deter and discourage me. Blessedly, I did file a big case in Superior Court, which was granted in my favor. And again, in order to try to deter me from pursuing my own justice through the courts that they advised me to go through, they had to throw another roadblock in my way. Dealing with them is always something, but hey, I try and knock them down and keep on pushing. It's funny, but not in a ha-ha, it's funny, but funny that when The court solicited me for all my evidence of my claims, and I hit them upside the head with it. Then in unison, they got together and became gatekeepers, scrutinizing me under a microscope. But with the world's help, family, we're going to knock them walls down. I'm not even asking for you to break them down with me. Be a voice, a show of force. There's power in numbers, and maybe, they might even open them. I highly doubt it. But in the meantime, let's get back to the crime victims' rights violations on behalf of the Franklin and Franklin County. So, now, to keep this brief, we're going to go ahead and read number 2. Now, in the last video, we read Washington State Crime Victims' Rights number 1, to be given a written statement of our rights and how that right was violated on behalf of detectives and the victim's advocate. Okay, so now let's continue, and I'll briefly talk about victims' rights number 2 and how that's been violated as well, and then we'll save the next video for 4 and so on. So, in victims' rights in the state, Washington State statute, number 2, let's go to the complete statute so we don't have to summarize again. To be informed by local law enforcement agencies or the prosecuting attorney of the final disposition of the case in which the victim, survivor, or witness is involved. So that means that we are to be informed by local law enforcement agencies or the prosecuting attorney of the final disposition of the case in which the victim, survivor, or witness is involved. Okay? So now, violation number 2. On November 2nd, this email was sent to Tina Carmona. We have been going back and forth since September regarding all of the defendants that were locked up at that time. So it had been about a month since she sent me any emails, any updates. I said, hey, is there any other information? Well, she says, you haven't emailed me in a month and I don't have time to just be sending you anything. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. So I responded to her, looks like we're looking at January. So any break in that communication is understood. So from November to January, any break in that communication is understood and expected. I don't need you to call me every day. Just keep me in the loop. But if there are any new developments between now and then, i.e. offers, pleas, bail, etc., we would be greatly appreciative if we can be sent that info as to be kept in the loop. Okay. November 2nd, asked her to be kept in the loop between now and January. November 2nd, she writes back, unfortunately, I don't usually know the new developments. She doesn't have the brochure. She doesn't know the new developments. She doesn't provide emotional support. I mean, just sitting there collecting a free check, doing absolutely nothing. Hell, I say in the words of Donald Trump, you're fired. But unfortunately, I don't usually know the new developments, offers, pleas, bail, etc. ahead of time. She used my words again. But I have included the district attorneys handling the case. Okay? Court, there's the district attorneys. They are the ones that would have this type of information, offers, pleas, bails, etc., ahead of time. So hopefully, they will let you know. So hopefully they'll let me know if anything happens, okay? November 2nd, hopefully they'll let me know. Hopefully, okay? So, now, November 2nd, Laura Mapes, one of the prosecuting attorneys, Laura Mapes, she responds, same day, For Derek Jackson, I can provide the following update. Status hearing, 11-3. Decline, 11-15. Motion hearing, 11-18. All right, now quickly. She responds, we have court tomorrow for a status regarding the decline hearing. That's on the 15th. All right, so this is the second. Tomorrow they have court. All right, I've been told by the defense that the decline hearing will need to get pushed out and that it will not go on the 15th. All right, so the defense told her the hearing's not even going to go on the 15th. Okay, because they're already working their little magic over there. So the hearing is not going to go on the 15th. The status hearing is on the 3rd. As they do not yet have the report from their evaluator, we emailed the court administrator to figure out when a new decline hearing will be set, but it looks like it'll be late December or potentially into January. And so that's why they had told me in January. We said, okay, looks like it'll be a break between then and January. Let me know. I won't likely know the new date until court tomorrow. I haven't received any information back. All right, that was the second. The motion hearing, she goes on to state, the motion hearing on 11/18 was just set by defense this week. So that was the week of the 1st, right here, Monday, Tuesday, the end of September. They just set that for the 18th. Okay, so they set the motion for the 18th. Defense is contesting the prior finding of probable cause for Derek's involvement in the case, as they should. So they got it set for the 18th. I haven't yet received a defensive motion, but they are seeking a full hearing with the lead detective to address the finding of probable cause. And we read that affidavit. It matches the description. The two girls said he ran to the car. He got in the car. You seen, yeah, I mean, you can go back and look at the video yourself. But like I said, the evidence is there. We don't know. Hey, somebody. The hearing will go before the judge who initially found the probable cause. All right, so cool. So we're looking at, all right, maybe the 18th on the 2nd. Remember, I asked, please let us know if anything happens between now and then. Guess what we get, family? Come November 14th, Monday, going back to Washington State Victims' Rights, number 2, okay? To be informed by local law enforcement agencies or the prosecuting attorney, Laura Mapes, of the final disposition of the case in which the victim, survivor, or witnesses is involved, okay? So, on the 14th, Monday, here we get. I called her, but no answer. I just tried again, but it keeps going straight to voicemail, and then it says the voicemail is full. I was able to reach his sister. Then she says, I do apologize that you felt out of the loop about everything. There they go, using my words again, because I said, please, so that we feel we're not kept out of the loop. That was never my intention. Everything happened so late in the day on Thursday, and then with the long weekend, I had every intention, but you didn't, of calling you today to let you know what happened and the reasons behind the decisions. You just beat me to the punch. Ouch. But I'm more than happy to let you know what transpired and the reasons for it. Know that we are continuing to investigate because I do feel that Derek may still be culpable to some extent. So, okay, there still needs to be an investigation as she's stating, okay? So then, here we go, skipping forward a little bit. December, we got another email from Laura Mapes, prosecuting attorney. To begin with, I want to sincerely apologize that you found out about Derek's release through social media. So, we're supposed to be informed. Any of the final disposition of the case. The prosecuting attorney, to begin with, I want to sincerely apologize that you found out about Derek's release through social media. I can only imagine how that made you feel. That was never my intention to have you find out that way. The dismissal occurred very late in the day. But there wasn't even a motion until the 15th that was pushed out. The other was set on the 18th. The dismissal occurred very late in the day. Who did they talk to? The judge? When was this scheduled? We weren't told about it. Nothing. It was always my intent to reach out on Monday to advise you of what occurred. So she just said right there, this dismissal occurred very late in the day. I don't care how late it is. This is you gonna reach out to me on Monday? Again, social media just beat me to the punch. So now I called her first and beat her to the punch. Now social media beat her to the punch. And I do apologize for that. Yeah, okay. So we got another violation. Number two. Number two. Okay. On behalf of prosecuting attorney Laura Mapes, victims' rights in the Washington State statute violated by Laura Mapes. Failed horrifically to be informed by law enforcement agencies, detectives, or the prosecuting attorney, Laura Mapes, of the final disposition of the case in which the survivor is involved. I mean, which attorney want to get with me? Because I'm not calling anybody else. I'm down to it. We're done. We're going for the juggler. It's time to put him away. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I'd like to say peace to my son, my brother, my friend. I walk in your strength, legacy, and power today and every day. We only on number 2, y'all. I mean, by the time I get to 4, I should have the phone ringing off the hook, because we need punitive recompense. Let's get it done.